There really hasn't, and I thank the gentleman for yielding. And I want to say that, you know, if you look at the budget, you really get a sense of where the priorities are. They're not investing in climate. They're cutting health care dramatically. And they're not investing in jobs and infrastructure. Now, as the gentlelady from Florida said, when I was in the state Senate, it was actually a Republican-controlled Senate, but together we worked on a package and we invested $16 billion into infrastructure because we knew that that was good for Republicans and for Democrats. And if you look at what this president has to say, this was a tweet that he just put out, really great numbers on jobs and the economy. Things are starting to kick in now. But, you know, the thing is that this week is supposed to be, White House is calling this Made in America Week. Well, maybe somebody should let the president know that everything should be made in America, because I happen to take a look at some of the products of the Trump organization, and I'm talking about Ivanka Trump's products and all of the president's organization's products. And here's what I found. Here is one of the products of Donald J. Trump's signature collection, made in Mexico. Here is another one from Ivanka Trump, made in China. So if the president is so incredibly committed to making things in America, I have a proposal, and perhaps we should have an amendment to this effect, that he should start with the Trump organization. In fact, much of the steel that was put into buildings that were built by the Trump organization was not steel that was made here in America. I actually have one of the largest steel manufacturing plants in my district in Washington State. Nobody ever thinks about it that way, but we do have steel being manufactured in Seattle. And we are in a situation now where this president has yet, and this Congress, this Republican-controlled Congress, has yet to introduce a single bill that would actually invest in jobs or infrastructure. In fact, the budget takes money away from job training. It takes more money out of infrastructure investment than it puts into infrastructure investment. And when you think about the federal government's role in infrastructure, of course we all want public-private partnerships where possible, but the federal government has a very strong role in making sure that we are investing in all our infrastructure, not only our roads and our bridges, but also all of our water sources, making sure that we're investing in transit. These are all ways to put Americans back to work. And yet, for a president who ran a campaign based on jobs and infrastructure and a Republican Congress-controlled House, we have yet to see a single job emerge. And even the jobs that he says he has created, reports that he had created 45,000 coal mining jobs, but unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, what we've seen is the numbers show only 800 jobs created in the coal mines. I just wanted to go back to this question of Medicaid because I think you've raised such an important program that is really a mainstay for the American people. And a lot of people don't understand exactly how much it covers. And, you know, you've mentioned 62% of seniors in nursing homes. 1 in 4 births in this country covered through Medicaid. In many states, I was just talking to our good colleague, Mr. Yarmouth, in Kentucky, over half of his births in Kentucky are covered through Medicaid. Wow. And then if you look at kids with disabilities, Medicaid covers 60% of kids with disabilities. So when you talk about cutting $1.5 trillion from Medicaid, as was the case between the Affordable Care Act and what was, or between Trump Care, excuse me, and what was proposed in the budget, which I know our good friend from Florida is going to talk about, you actually had $1.5 trillion in cuts to a program that serves 72 million Americans. So it really is a travesty, I think, when you think about how much this program
should be investing those resources in infrastructure.
Would the gentleman yield?
Please.
You know, I thank the gentlelady for raising that because this elimination of Tiger grants affects cities across the country, red states, blue states, Republican, urban. You know, we have a lot of those Tiger grants that have paid for our roads, rail, transit, ports, and new transportation projects. And Perhaps I'll turn it back to the gentlewoman from Wisconsin. Would you be surprised to know that the budget actually slashes job training programs for distressed workers by 65%?
I would be stunned to think the Party